Join me today as we talk about why one gym is better than the other. Believe it or not, it has to do with paper towels. The riots that are still going on. Come on, people. It comes to a time where you got to let it go. Just let it go. And you're getting manipulated. A bill called HR 3132 that's going to take benefits directly out of veterans' pockets. Stick around. You just might learn something. Welcome to the Eric T Conversation. I'm Eric T. Well, I joined a new gym, EOS. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're kind of in Texas and Florida, and I think they're in California. I belong to a bunch of different gyms. I was at Crunch, I was at LA Fitness, I worked at different military bases. I've done Anytime Fitness. I've done a local one that's affiliated with the hospital here in town. So I'm real familiar. But this EOS, it's just on a new level. Now, if you're in California and you're seeing this, you probably have all kinds of gyms that have all these amenities, but this one is spectacular. They've got like a movie room in there where they play movies throughout the day, where it's cardio while you're watching movies on the big screen. They've got a cold plunge, a hot tub. They got an infrared sauna. They got these compression leg things that you sit in a room and you put these compression things on your legs and it squeezes your legs, helps the circulation. They got these chairs in there that cold, heat, kind of help you if you got any kind of ailments or a bruising, maybe a knot or a sore muscle. Just a lot of amenities in there. And it's place is enormous. But so I go in there and I finally wind up joining and I kind of really like it. A gym is a gym. The equipment is the equipment. All gyms have roughly the same amount of equipment. But the weird thing about it is they opened up right across the street from the Crunch Fitness that I was working out at. Now, I haven't been at Crunch a long time. I've been there about a year because a buddy of mine worked out there, but I've been going there regularly. And it's a smaller Crunch. I've never been in any other Crunch, but the size of gyms that I'm used to, this is comparably small. And they have one of just about everything, not two of everything, three of everything, just about one of certain types of equipment. So you usually get pretty packed in there. But the EOS opened up about a block down the street and right across from the Crunch Fitness. And as soon as they opened up and went live about a month ago, Crunch became a graveyard. Now, I used to go to Crunch. I used to have to park up on a hill somewhere in order to get any parking because the parking lot was always full. Never could find any place to park my car. But now there's plenty of parking. There's parking in the front, parking in the middle, just everywhere. Nobody's really in there. It's probably about 70% thinner than it used to be, especially about 4 or 5 o'clock when all the younger people go in there and you can never get on any equipment. That's not a problem anymore. So I've been at the EOS and all those people that were there are at the other gym now. And it's about the same price. Like all these other cool gyms that have all these amenities, you got to pay, $25, $30 if you want to be able to enjoy all those extras. But simply working out in the equipment, it's $9.99, just like Crunch. So I don't know how Crunch is going to compete with that because they really don't have the amenities. They have the classes. They have, I think, one room where you can kind of recover, but they don't have all this other stuff. So at some point, I think Crunch is going to have to start realizing they need to expand. They need to spend more money and maybe go a little bit further, a little bit wider, and put some better amenities over there to compete with EOS. It's like if you go into a grocery store to buy groceries at two grocery stores that are side by side. One just sells groceries. The other one has groceries. They've got a deli. They've got a pharmacy. They have the seafood, meat department, all these other things in there. And everything is about the same price. Where are you going to go? Right? You're going to go to that one. One of the things that I liked about EOS, which is kind of funny, is that they have paper towels throughout the place. Where you get a spray bottle, spray the paper towel, and wipe your equipment down. Crunch took down all the paper towel racks. It took them down because I guess corporate told them that people were flushing in the toilet and they were calling the plumbers out there all the time to unclog their toilets. And it bothers me. It really bothers me. They don't have paper towels inside the gym. I bring my own towel to wipe stuff down and I spray it. They have the handy wipes in there to wipe them down, but there's no paper towel. So I happen to get a runny nose. And if you've ever worked out, sometimes your nose drips or you got too much sweat on your face, something like that. It's nice to get a little paper towel and kind of blow your nose or wipe your face down. They don't have anything. If I want to go blow my nose, I got to go inside the toilet and they only got 2 stalls. So if there's 2 dudes taking a shit in there, I got to wait to blow my nose. They don't have a box on the counter when you check in at the reception desk. There is no paper products anywhere but in the toilets at the Crunch Fitness. So this is one of the bigger reasons why I'm staying at EOS Fitness because they have paper towels throughout the place. For the amount of money we pay for the memberships there, if a toilet happens to get clogged, you can afford to get a plumber to snake that sucker. Or you train the guy that works there, the janitor, the custodian guy, you train him to learn how to snake toilets. Because for the money I'm spending, I want to blow my nose when I want to blow my nose. I don't need a handy wipe to wipe down their equipment and then have nothing. Because I remember when I was Crunch Fitness, I asked the custodian guy, I said, hey man, you don't have any. He goes, yeah, I know, we got rid of them. I was like, dude, what if I want to blow my nose or, or something, or dry my hands after I wash them in the sink instead of using an air dryer? Because the air dryer takes way too freaking long to dry your hands. Way too long. I prefer paper towel, pop, pop, dry them, toss it. He said, well, you can use one of the wet wipes. I said, a wet wipe to blow my nose? That's disgusting. It doesn't feel right. You ever wipe your face with a wet paper towel? It doesn't feel right at all. So I don't like that. So I'm now at EOS Fitness because Crunch Fitness, you don't have any paper towels anywhere in your gym. So if you want people to start joining, well, I would have stayed there because that's really kind of a little amenity that I enjoy. I do like the cold plunge. I do like it. I have a cold plunge at home, but I got to be honest. At my house, I just pack with a bunch of ice. And I don't think I get it as cold as the one at EOS because I went in that sucker twice now and I lasted maybe a minute. At the one at my house, I probably put 10 bags of ice in it, one of those round ones. I can sit in there for 4 minutes. Then I get to the point when I get out. At the gym, I'm there for a minute. It's brutal. I got to get out. So I enjoy some of the other amenities in there, but the paper towel thing, that's a deal breaker for me. Well, that's my observation. Now for the conversation. All the protests are still going on, like 6 days into it. They are still protesting. I have a question. How can you go 6 days and protest? Don't these people have jobs? Don't they have to go anywhere? I mean, let's be realistic. The illegals are technically hard workers, right? That's what everybody says. But yet they're all protesting. I mean, didn't LA burn to the ground a couple of months ago? We had it on fire. All these houses went down. There should be construction sites booming with new houses being built. But yet all these Mexicans that are protesting are on the streets of LA, flying their flags, throwing Molotov cocktails, burning cars, throwing bricks at cop cars. Nobody's at work. Nobody's at work? Really? There's no drywall to hang. There's no roof to put on. So that just tells me this is all 100% funded. It's funded. And anybody tells me otherwise, I'm sorry. That's my opinion. And the reason why I know that this stuff is being paid for by billionaires that really don't like this country. Sam Walton's daughter, Christy Walton, the heiress to the fortune of Walmart. She's worth about $19 billion. She has donated and bankrolling Defending Liberty. She's funneling cash into No Kings. That's another, the No King protest that's going on in New York and Chicago and other states. And a nationwide stunt by the radical 5501 movement set for the June 14th to counter the Trump's celebration of the United States military's 250th anniversary. This is all being funded. These people are holding signs that are written in perfectly good English, but yet they don't speak any English. But they have great signs that are handwritten really well. Some of them even printed out from a printing company. And they have them everywhere. And the same signs you see in one area are in another area. It's not like they're getting a Sharpie on a cardboard box and just writing, keep illegals here. No, they're getting these things handed to them. They're getting bricks dropped off into the middle of the streets. These things are funded, people. They're doing it on purpose to disrupt our country. They don't like our country. And they certainly don't like Donald Trump. And the reason why is because you have to follow where all this money goes. Because what happens is the illegals that they're bringing in here, they were doing it for one purpose and one purpose only. And this is what I've observed. I could be wrong, but this is what my observation is telling me. They brought in 10 to 20 million illegals into this country. They flooded our country with them so they can change the way voting happens. Because minorities were typically the African American people. They're the ones that the Democrats went after to get their votes. And since the civil rights movement, that's who they got. And it's unfortunately, that's what happened for many decades. But recently, the black community is starting to wake up. They're realizing they've been pawns, used by the Democratic Party. There's a lot of them that are still on the left, but there's a lot of them that are waking up. a lot of legal immigrants, Hispanic immigrants that are in this country that have woken up and that are now on the right side. And they know they're losing that demographic. What better way to funnel and get better votes and more votes is to funnel in tens of millions of illegals into this country who will at some point be dedicated to who brought them in here, which is the Biden administration. And that's what they were doing. That's why they were giving them Social Security cards. They were giving them money. They were giving them these Visa debit cards. They were giving them free cell phones. They were giving them hotels to stay in for free. They're buying votes. And you can't tell me it was for any other reason, because the people that are in charge want to continue to be in charge. And how they do that? By winning elections. It's clear. That's how they make us go to war. They decide when we go to war. I mean, the only real wars we probably had were World War I, World War II. Anything other than that, Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf, even when I went to Afghanistan, Iraq, those are all wars fought over politicians, their decisions that they made to send us to war. Now, when I was over there, I thought, man, it was for a good cause. But now, years later, 20 years later for me, you realize, no, these wars were fought because a bunch of politicians decided we needed to go over there. We have no business in these countries. But the people that are the elites, that are billionaires, that hate this country, that are socialists and the communist individuals, they're the ones dictating all this. These are the ones that are funneling all of this anarchy. And I feel bad because the Hispanic community, the illegals that are fighting, and people that have joined up them on the left side, you're being used. You're being used 100% by this propaganda machine. And hopefully you'll wake up and realize they don't care about you. They don't care about America. What they care about is their agenda. Them telling you how you should live your life. Them telling you how you should vote. Them telling you what you should put into your body, what vaccines you should take. That's what they want. They want total control. It's clear as day. Elizabeth Warren doesn't want any crypto. She doesn't want the stablecoin bill. She's fighting very hard against it. The only reason why you'd fight against something that is more efficient, cheaper to run, trackable, is because you like the money coming out. It's the money grab that they get. Tens of billions of dollars, poof, goes out to thin air. And if you don't use cryptocurrency, stablecoin to do it, you can track that. You can't track pallets of money on an airplane. You don't know where it goes once it lands. You have no idea if it gets back on another plane and comes back to some politician's pocket. That's why they don't like it. They're losing control. And all the individuals that are still on the left that just hate Donald Trump and you believe all this propaganda, you really got to open your eyes. You got to realize that these people do not like you. They are using you for their causes. They are using you for what they want. They don't care if you're in this country or not, because once they get your votes, they'll be done with you and they'll forget about you, just like they do with the black community every 4 years, every 2 years. Every election cycle, the politicians, and on both sides actually, but it's more on the left because the minorities happen to go more to the left because they always believe the hype that they're telling them. They believe that, we're gonna make things better for you. You're gonna get this, and we're gonna supply this for you, and we're gonna help you do this. And then they get their vote, and they don't hear anything from them. And this has happened election cycle after election cycle after election cycle. And Donald Trump helped a lot of minorities in this country wake up, and they realize they're being used by all these politicians. Every couple of years, they come out. They do rallies in their neighborhoods. They have these town hall meetings, and they get you all fired up. And then what happens? They get elected, and you never hear from them again. And your cities are still in squalor. Every Democrat-ran city is a dump. Just look outside. I mean, my family's from New York City. My parents grew up in the Bronx, so I'm very familiar with inner cities. I used to go there all the time. Some of my family still lives in there. But you have to realize, our inner cities are trash. It's just the way it is. Our inner cities should be beautiful. Nobody should be living on the street. Nobody. That's not feasible for the left. They want to keep everybody hungry and hungry and hungry. So when it's time to vote, you eat their words and you listen to them, and then you pull the lever for them. Then what happens? You get nothing out of it. They'll come up, they'll show up, they'll appease you a little bit. They'll give you a rah, 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 then you vote for them again. It's time to get all these people out of office, all of them, and start getting people in there that truly believe in this system. Because once they get there, guys, they don't do their job. They do what's right for them. And I've talked about this many times before. They pull the lever on however their party wants them to vote or how their conscience is. I don't want somebody in there voting their conscience. I want somebody voting for what we put them in office for and what to do. That's plain and simple. Like you got a guy right now, a congressman in Michigan, Representative Jack Bergman. He's a Republican. And this guy just passed a new bill. So all the veterans out there, you need to pay attention to this particular clip. I need your attention. All veterans, anybody active duty that's going to get out in the military, you need to listen to this clip and pay attention to what I'm telling you. Congressman Jack Bergman, Michigan, he's a Republican. He presented this bill, H.R. 3130. He proposed a bill, H.R. 3132. And what this bill does, it is to amend Title 38, United States Code, to allow for certain agreements for services rendered in the preparation, presentation, and prosecution of initial claims and supplemental claims for benefits under the law administered by the Secretary of Veteran Affairs and for other purposes. The Republican that proposed a bill to charge veterans to file a claim. Got to wake up, people. If you're a veteran or you're a service member, you need to start calling your Congress and you need to make sure they don't pass that bill. H.R. 3132. Let them know that veterans shouldn't have to pay out of their own pocket from the benefits that they're going to receive to file for the disability. That's bullshit. And I hope everybody stands up for that. And that's a Republican from Michigan. That I'll tell you all you need to know. So be careful who you're voting for, everybody. These people don't give a damn about you. And the people that are protesting, you're getting manipulated by the system and by these billionaire donors that think what they say should go. They believe what they believe. If these billionaires, if they could sit down, all get together and decide what's best for you, oh, Americans, you should have this vaccine, you should be living here, you should be going to this job. It's like Orwellian, right? 1984. That's what they want. They want to tell you what to do. They want to control you. And by doing that, they're funneling billions of dollars to all these NGOs and all these organizations that are doing these protests. Trust me, these protests just don't come out of thin air. The best thing to come out of this is in the state of Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis just came out, I think today on social media, and he told everybody, listen, if you protest in the streets and you block traffic and they run you over, they're not liable. So if you're going to block I-4 or I-95 and protest or A1A, you get mowed over, too bad, because that's the law now. Pedestrians that are blocking the flow of traffic, you're going to get run over. And the driver is perfectly within his right to do that. So my sheriff, Wayne Ivey in Brevard County, he came out and said the same thing, that most of the sheriffs in the state of Florida all agree with that. If you're going to protest in the state of Florida, do it. I support First Amendment, freedom of speech, 100%. But do it on the sidewalk. Do it in front of a building. Do it on the side of the road. But don't get in the street. Don't cause any violence. Because if you're in the state of Florida and you're causing violence, you are going to go to jail. They're going to scoop you up very quick. And if you're standing in the middle of the road on I-4 trying to protest and block traffic, you're going to get run the fuck over. That's the way it is. And those people that do that, don't you realize when you block that, you block emergency vehicles from trying to help somebody? Imagine if somebody's having a heart attack and they call for an ambulance and the ambulance can't get to them in time and somebody dies. You don't care. It's nonsense to sit there blocking highways and roadways and blocking traffic that people can't get to work, having emergency services, deliver a baby if they're pregnant. So use your head, people. Protest peacefully. That's what I fought for this country. That's what my father fought for this country, my grandfather. Do it. Protest all you want, but do it peacefully because that's the American way. That's it for today. Join me next time for a little chit chat, some observation, and some good old fashioned conversation. Thanks.